Hey guys, David Folk here, and today we're going to be doing part 2 of winter golf gear, and it's the second most important thing, the hitting mat. You can do anything from just a little strip to a 10-foot by 5-foot mat, and they range from $20 to $1,000. Lots of options out there. I have 3 different options that I think are going to be best for you. Let's go putts around.
Hit the ball! Boom.
Alright guys, when it comes to golf mats, there are an abundance of options out there. And a lot of it really depends on how much you're going to use it, what kind of shots are you going to be using, how you swing your clubs. Are you a picker? Are you a digger? That's going to impact the durability of it. In today's video, we're going to talk about a golf strip mat. Number 2, we're going to talk about a small 3x5 stance mat. And the third one, we're going to talk about that premium brand that's going to be great for all-purpose, all-weather, close to the real feeling out on the golf course as possible. Number 1, the golf strip. This is going to be probably the most difficult to choose from because there's so many little golf strips out there. I personally use a brand called Rucket. It's the same thing that came with my Rucket Hack golf net that I use for all of my dry ball testing. It came with a little strip, probably 2 feet by 3 or 4 feet, and it has a fairway, a rough, and an ability to tee up the mat. And we're gonna take you out there in just a second so you guys can see what I'm talking about, how I use it in my dry ball testing, as well as if I want to just practice some shots. But there are a wide variety. You can get mats that just have all fairway type mats. You can have mats that have more of a plush, so you get into it, it's going to be more of a divot type of swing. I like my Rucket mat. I think it's going to be a great option. So if you want to hit a variety of different shots, it's going to give you that sensation of out of the rough, or if you want to try and hit it off the fairway, or if you want to tee up some balls, it gives you that variety. Again, just so many options out there. I'm going to recommend what I know and what I've tested versus the cheap ones that are fairway that are going to be just kind of hitting on it. And honestly, I'm going to have to say the Rucket gives you the most variety, the most variability to hit out of different lies, as well as try different shots out of those lies. So let's go take a look at it, and I can kind of explain how I use it here at home for my dry ball testing. This is the Rucket, and I have a golf ball here just so you can see. This is going to be the fairway portion. This is what I use over here for all of my dry ball testing, to hit it, to give you guys all the data. You can see that it sits up there nice. It gives you a nice little lie. It is a little squishy, so you can see I can stick my finger down in it about that far, so you can get down into it just a little bit when you're looking at trying to hit down on the ball. But really, it's not gonna be like you can get down into it like you take a divot and then come through it. It's not made for that. It's more like a typical golf range mat that you guys typically use. Then you can move over here to the rough portion, and I don't use this very often, but you guys can kind of move it over here and get it nice and tall, and then kind of stick a ball in. You can see that the ball is kind of covered by the rough there. You know, it's going to simulate a little bit more of a flyer lie, so you guys can get used to that, know how to swing in there. Again, it's not going to be super deep, so you're going to probably come through it and skid or bounce. And then finally, we have over here, this is going to be more of the driving, the thick type mat. So it is pretty thick. You can see that almost my entire finger fits down there, so that's not too bad. You can stick a real tee in there. I use something like a 1.5 inch tee, and you can stick it in there, tee it up, and it stays really nice. So it's not necessarily super tall. I tried using a 3 1/4 tee and a 2 3/4 tee, and it doesn't really stay all that well. But I bet you could probably put like a 2.5 or 2 1/4 in there and it'd stick. I don't hit a driver indoors a lot, so it's not like that's going to be super valuable for me. I actually use that section really for my kids. They struggle with hitting the ball off the ground, so I like to tee it up for them, letting them hit off the tee, giving them some good strikes and seeing it go 30, 40, 50 yards, depending on which one is hitting the ball. It's a great mat for giving you a variety of lies, but it's not gonna be super great for real world simulation, especially if you are a digger and not a picker. Number 2 in golf mats is going to be a stance mat or a starting hitting mat. And I picked one up, and I'm gonna show you in just a second. I put it down here in my kitchen so you guys can take a look. This was a generic start off stance mat that I had with my OptiShot when I first bought one of those. It has a little cutout for it so that I could hit off of that and then just have a stance mat. I have tried hitting off of this and it's not super awesome, and I'm going to show you in just a second what happens when you do. But the stance mat overall, it's nice and thick padded. That's something that I would recommend. It has some good grip on it, as well as the fibers are actually not too bad in compared to length. So let's take a look at it real quick. Here is my mat. You guys can see here how thick the rubber is. I mean, that's really thick. You can see how tall the grass is. That's actually not too bad. I paid maybe $70 for this mat, maybe a little cheaper than that. And really, you can see it is for the OptiShot. There's where that would go. It has a little cord that you can stick out there. And what I do is I stand here with my mat. If you guys haven't ever seen another video indoor, I stand here, I put my strip there, and then I just hit off whichever one I want to use. And so I'm standing here, and then I hit off of that. And that's going to allow me to give me a stance. It's going to be a similar height to what I'm hitting off of with the mats. It gives me a nice level ground to swing and build up those swings and consistency with my swing. That was a lot of swings. All right, guys, I went and got my wedge. I'm going to take some half swings in here just to show you what happens with this golf stance mat when I hit clubs on it. Like I said, I don't hit clubs on it. I use my Rucket mat for that. As I just stand on it, as I hit 45 minutes to an hour, doing demos, reviews, or just hitting to get my swing, maintained, there's a pile of green strands that are gonna be in my garage. So I'm gonna kind of take some swings, let you guys take a look, see what I'm talking about. This isn't the best quality mat, but it does the job. So cost-benefit analysis, that's always gonna be the name of the game when it comes to this stuff. So when I stand here, you just kind of take some swings. I'm not even swinging that hard. That's what, maybe 10 swings or so? And we can see I already have flakes coming off of the mat here after a dozen swings or maybe 15, and that wasn't even swinging that hard. You can also see over here the wear patterns where my feet are. I generally stand on this side right here, so you can kind of see where my feet are wearing on the carpet, where it's not as lush as over here. It's just kind of worn down. And that's just to be expected with a cheaper mat. All right, guys, finally we come to the creme de la creme. Top of the golf mat industry, peak amazingness, best golf mats out there depending on how much you want to spend. There are really two main brands out there. The first one's going to be the Country Club Elite Real Feel Golf Mat. It is phenomenal. It feels like legitimately you're out on the course. You get into it, you can take a nice divot, and it's not going to cause any sort of issues with the mat themselves. They're highly durable. They play forever. It's one of those that it's just like, you hit it fat, you can hit it thin, you can hit it perfectly, take divots, hit punch shots with it. I mean, it just feels like you're out on the course. It's a great feeling golf mat. You can tee up your balls. You can use 2 3/4 tees or 3 1/4 tees, whatever you guys use. The mat itself is just phenomenal. Now, I don't have one because they're like $600 for a 5x5. So that's way out of my price range right now. I can't afford anything near that. But the mats themselves are amazing. You can actually buy strips of those, which is what I'm considering doing, anywhere between $40 and $100, depending on what kind of strip you're doing. It's just a great mat for what you get out of it. If you're looking for a premium mat, first one, Country Club Elite Real Feel Golf Mat. The second one I find very intriguing, the True Strike Golf Mat. And what they've done is they built a system of strips in their mats, so you connect as many strips as you want. You can have a 3 foot, you can have a 4 foot, a 5, 6. I mean, it can keep going, and all you buy is these strips, and then they have specific end caps that you can put on. It's actually an ingenious idea for a golf mat. And then when that strip wears out, let's say you're hitting the fairway and that wears out and gets a rut in it, you just take that piece out and put a new piece in so that it costs you a lot less. So if you get a 4x4, you're probably looking at, $500-600. But you don't have to replace the whole mat when it wears out. You just replace that strip. That's the genius part of it. Not pay full price to have to go out and buy a new one. You just pay to change that strip. To hit into it, it's not going to be as deep as the Country Club Elite one, but it feels really good versus some of the cheap ones that I'm currently using. If you can work it into your budget to make that magic happen, those two are going to be probably the best ones that you want to spend money on. So like I said, guys, if you're looking to hit a lot of golf balls, more premium market mats are going to be a better option for you. If you guys are looking just to hit some, maybe once a week or maybe just a couple times a month, obviously spending hundreds of dollars on a golf mat isn't necessarily going to be wise. Maybe a strip is good for you. Find a little strip, find a little stance. It's going to allow you to get those swings in, keep up your game without sacrificing a lot of money. So guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what mat you guys have. There are lots of them out there, so go ahead, post those down below. I look forward to hearing what kind of mat, if you can remember the brand, what size it is, maybe talk about some of the features that it has, how thick is the pad, or how tall is the grass, how often does it wear down. Post those all down below. We look forward to hearing from you, having that conversation, and maybe you have something that I didn't mention that might be good for everybody to see. So guys, we look forward to hearing from you. Don't be afraid. Post those comments down below. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and we'll chat with you next time.